Hi, it's your girl, Love That Hair 12, and I am going to show you a tutorial on how to install box braid individuals. So as you can see, the top or the front of my hair is already completed. I'm working on this section here, well, this little bit that's left from the section that I had already sectioned off. And what you want to do is part your section of hair. Okay, so I started with this much. Okay, and now I'm going to just part my section. And you want to make sure that your sectioning is nice and straight. So I basically split it in two. Clip down the hair that you are not going to be braiding so it stays out of the way. Now what I like to do is put some moisturizer on my hair before I install the braiding hair. And the moisturizer, this is a little concoction that I made, but it was Natural Oasis hair conditioning or hair scalp cream, and I mixed it with some shea butter and my oil, essential oils mixture. And in my oil mixture, I have argan oil, coconut oil, jojoba oil, and olive oil, and mix everything together. And it's this color, you can see it's almost done, so I'm gonna have to make some more. Grab my hair. I'm doing medium size, so I'm just gonna section off the amount of hair I need, which would be that much. Now, those of you that are just learning how to braid or may not be as experienced yet, you may section out your sections of hair all at once so you can ensure that you have the same size braids all the way through. But as you get more experience and become more comfortable, you can section it off as you go along. But this is the size that, or the amount of hair that you would need for the size of the braids that I'm doing. You're going to separate, and you want to separate, don't divide it directly in half. You want to take a third of the section that you have. You're going to take that smaller third section, make a T, loop it around so it's, looped around and it's hanging, and then combine what you just looped, so that is the third strand. Okay? The reason why you take a third is because you want to make sure that each of your three sections for the braid are the same size. You've seen those people that have braids where their braids are lumpy or they're not laying flat all the way because they didn't section the hair off properly. So make sure that you section your hair off properly and evenly. Now I just applied a little bit of moisturizer to the braiding hair because this is synthetic hair and it's drying, so you want to make sure that that's moisturized as well. Then I'm just going to braid this in just like you do a cornrow with extensions. You want to pull with some tension, but you don't want to have so much tension that you are creating bumps in your scalp or bumps that are going to form into little balls of pus later. That is just way too tight. Okay? Because remember, Love That Hair 12 is about healthy hair. So yeah, you're going to have some tension because it's braids, but it should never be to the point where it's jeopardizing the integrity of your hair or your scalp. Once you've secured the braid at the root, you can flip to the other direction so it's easier for you to braid it all the way down, since that's if you're, installing it on yourself. Now, of course, if you was doing this on a client, the braid is already going to be facing in your direction. Okay. I keep a little trash bag on my little door handle behind me so I can just kind of dump the excess as I go so things don't get too messy, because hair just, travels, gets everywhere. And you can continue to apply the moisturizer as you braid down just to keep, again, a nice, smooth, consistent finish throughout the entire plait. This is 100% Kanekalon hair. So again, it's synthetic hair. And if you watch part 1 of the video, then you will see how to properly prep your hair and feather the tips so you get a nice smooth finish at the bottom of each of your plaits. You always want to properly prep your hair before installing any type of braided style so you just have a nice, smooth, clean, professional finish. And these braids are pretty much, well, they're about 2.5 inches past my shoulders. So I'm pretty much braiding them almost all the way down to the end of where the braiding hair stops. You don't have to tie a knot or anything, because once I trim this up and cut evenly and dip it in the hot water, when everything's said and done, it's going to lay nice and flat and straight and smooth. Okay? And you have your braid. I'll do this last one in this section so you can see again. Just stick this clip here so that doesn't get in my way. Moisturizer. Get your hair. Now, the hair was properly feathered at the tips and stretched out, but you can still stretch it if you want, or if need be, as you put each individual plait in. But it's not necessary if you've already feathered it and stretched it out, you know, as one big bulk in the beginning. And then there's some braiders that like to, you know, feather it and stretch it out, you know, one by one as they're installing each individual plait. Now, my hair is still growing out from the natural mohawk cut that I had, so it's shorter on the sides and in the back than it is in this top section that I'm working on. I'm just applying some more moisturizer because my real hair is going to stop in a second or so. And I want to make sure that it lays nice and smooth and blends in really well with the braiding hair. Now, some braiders choose to blend in the client's real hair with gel. I don't recommend that, only because gel is really high in alcohol content, and that's very drying and damaging to your hair. It causes breakage. Remember, Love That Hair 12 is all about healthy hair. So I like to stress to try to use a moisturizer, because it's moisturizing to your hair, to your scalp. It also helps to prevent the itchiness that really comes from a lot of the synthetic braided styles. And you already apply a moisturizer on your hair, your scalp, and into the braiding hair itself. Gel, like I said, is very high in alcohol content, so that creates even more of an itch. You definitely don't want that. So just braiding all the way down. You can take out any tangles, like you see that tangle at the end. Just snap that off and keep right on going. The tangles are not going to be a problem to remove if you've already feathered your hair and properly brushed it through and everything before you start it, because it's brushed through, so they'll just slide right on down for the most part. And I'm braiding again all the way, pretty much all the way down to the end. Okay. Now you see again, my hair is a slightly lighter color from when I had it colored before, but I'm a number 2 naturally. This is number 2, which is a dark brown. And I'll just take down what I've braided so far just so you can see pretty much how it's all going to be when everything's said and done. Got hair everywhere. Wear an old shirt. All right. So I'm going to continue on and work on this section here on the side. I'll come back with part 3 so you can see when everything's done how you dip the ends in the hot water to seal your ends and how you clean up everything nice and evenly. But yeah, that's basically your installation of box braids. When you're doing box braids, or any type of braids for that matter, you want to make sure that your hair is being braided in the natural direction that hair naturally falls in, down to the sides and down to the back. If you go all the way back and braid in that direction, that's how you get those gaps, and you can see where each braid has been sectioned off. That's not what you want. You want them to overlay the previous part. So you see, if I pull this back this way, you can't see any parts. This is my natural part that I put here for when I wear it down. I want a little part here. But even if I pull this to the side this way, again, the plait should move pretty much in any direction to cover those sections. So if you want to wear a straight back ponytail, you shouldn't see any sectionings up and through here. Okay? Again, please come back for part 3 where I show you how to seal the ends, clean up and trimming of your braids. I hope you've enjoyed watching how to install box braid individuals. And remember, stay healthy and keep your hair healthy. From Love That Hair 12. Thanks for watching.